So my name's Mike Fergione. I work for Fluid Delivery Solutions. We're an oil and gas contracting company. We specifically handle water transfer services. And what I mean by that is we pump water through above ground pipe that we install and water pumps to well completion jobs or frac jobs that are going on in Pennsylvania, just over the border, a half hour from Elmira. Our local office that anybody up here would work out of would be Towanda, Pennsylvania, which is about a half hour south on Route 220. The work would be within an hour of Towanda, more than likely, in Lycoming County, Clinton County, Tioga County. There might be some work this side of Bradford, PA, and Coudersport area, Potter County, that area there. You'll be home every night. You won't have to get a rental place to rent. I mean, if you live here in Elmira, obviously you'll be able to come home every night. And it's we work two shifts. It's a day shift and a night shift, from 6 in the morning to 6 at night, from 6 at night to 6 in the morning, 12-hour days. We do work a schedule right now. It's about 7 days straight for a couple of days off. There's times you might work more than 7 days straight to get a few days off. You're going to make your money in overtime. The pay rate is $13 an hour, and then you're going to be paid obviously for 40 hours, and then anything over 40 you'll be paid overtime on top of that. You have the potential to make anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 a week, potential for $70,000 to $80,000 a year. The work is not really physically demanding, and we hire entry level, no experience, right off the streets. We teach you everything you need to know on the job. It's OJT, on the job training. Let me give you a scenario. What's your first name?
First name's John.
John. Okay, John. Let's say you come to work for us and you work the day shift, so you have to be in Towanda by 6 a.m. to catch the company truck leaving the shop. So you go down there, you drive your personal vehicle down, get out of your vehicle, hop in a company truck, and you're going to have a mentor for the first 2 months, 60 days approximately. They're going to show you exactly what you need to know out there to do your job. You're not going to be left alone out there for the first couple of months until you get your feet underneath you. So you hop in the company truck, they take you to wherever we have these pumps set up, and it might be out in a remote area in the middle of a woods somewhere, in a field or wherever, and you go out there and you get out of the truck, and the first thing you'll do is look the pump over, check its oil, make sure it has fuel in it, make sure there's no leaks or spills. And then you'll be in communication with people from our company over the next hill, a mile, 2 miles away, where we have these water lines set up. And the companies, they get set up with the Department of Environmental Protection in the state of Pennsylvania to pump water from a lake, a river, a creek, or a stream, or whatever. And then we set up the pumps, where the source is, and then we lay out all the hose or polyline pipe. We install all that on top of the ground, and we get it to where the frac job is going on or the completion job is going on. So when they're ready to start the job, they will either text you, call you on the cell phone, or a radio transmission, and they'll say, John, we're ready to start the job, start the pump up. So you get out of the truck, turn the pump on, get it up to RPM, and you tell them, hey, you got water coming your way, and they'll say, great, John, hang tight, make sure the pump stays running for about 3-4 hours, and when we're done with this stage, we'll tell you when to shut the pump off. Now, and when they'll tell you if that pump shuts down for some reason, let them know, because they might have to,
Right.
Shut things down on the job. So you get back in the truck or sit outside, enjoy the day or whatever. You can go on your phone, you can look at email, whatever you want to do. Just don't fall asleep. We don't care about that. Just make sure that everything's running. You pay attention to everything there. 3 to 4 hours later, the guy says, hey, we're done with this stage, shut the pump off, and then you wait for the next command. So your whole 12-hour day is going to be turn that pump on, turn that pump off. That's what your whole 12-hour days, and you might do that for 7 days straight. All right. Once you get a little wherewithal, and within the first 2 months, you're a green hat, as so to speak. So you're an entry-level worker. And then after 2 months, you'll get evaluated. Somebody will come out and and kind of test you, run you through some things, like ask you a bunch of different questions. And if you pass that test, you'll be promoted after 2 months, and you'll get bumped up in pay, per hour, like maybe $1 or so an hour more, and they'll move you up to a blue hat. It goes green, blue, gray, and then the ultimate would be white, which it probably takes a little over a year or more to become a white hat. And then, like I said, you're within 60 days, you'll be able to receive health and medical benefits with the company, with Blue Cross Blue Shield, vision and dental. And then after approximately 6 months, you'll be able to enter into the company's 401k retirement plan. And we are, FDS, Fluid Delivery Solutions, is the 3rd largest water transfer company in the United States. Our corporate office is in Fort Worth, Texas. We have operations in Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico. And in Appalachia, which is up here, we have operations in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia. Towanda, 84 PA, which is south of Pittsburgh. Barnesville, Ohio, which is west of Wheeling, West Virginia, and southeast Ohio. And Clarksburg, West Virginia, which is south of Morgantown. So most of the time you're going to be working, if you're stationed in Towanda, 99.9% of the time you're going to be working around Towanda. There might be an occasion where we get shorthanded somewhere where, hey John, we need you to take the company truck and run down to 84 and help those guys out for a week. When you do that, you're paid hourly for that. You're paid a per diem, $30 a day per diem for your food expense, and then we pick up your hotel expense when you get down there. But that's going to be a rare occurrence that happens. We have a lot of work up here with a lot of different companies. And let me tell you what can happen. Like I said, you'll be able to move up with Fluid Delivery Solutions, but we are an entry-level type job in the oil field. It's one of the few entry-level positions where you can get into the oil field without any schooling, without any experience, just walk on, have a work ethic, be able to pass a drug test. We do a drug test, air follicle test, criminal background check. We do all that, but it's one of the few ways where you can walk in and just jump right in and get some experience. And then what might happen is, and I've seen it happen a lot of times, I've gotten hundreds of people jobs in the last 11 years before I started working with this company myself. You get working out there on a well pad, and all of a sudden you get to know the company person, the person who works full time for a Chevron or a Shell or a Repsol or a Seneca Resources, the company that owns the wells that hire us.
Right.
And all of a sudden they call you over, hey John, we got this position open, a water supervisor, and I've known you've worked for FDS for the past year or so. You've got the experience, we like you, we know you, we trust you, you want to come to work for us and work for our company full time. And that's how it works. There was one young man, I just met him about a year ago, February. I'm from the Edinboro area, and Pennsylvania, which is south of Erie, and knew him through somebody else. Got him in with FDS even before I started here. He worked here 10 months, and then he asked me, Mike, you know this other company? And I knew about them, and he said, I think I want to go with them because they're a little bit bigger. Maybe they sounds like they pay a few more bucks. Well, yeah, I can help you get in there because I know some people that work there. So I got him in there, and then he worked there the last 3 months, and wouldn't you know it, I become employee of the month for the last couple of months. And then he wanted to come back to us because he wasn't crazy about it. It was a bigger company, and he liked the atmosphere. We're more of a family-run company, and so we were going to hire him back. But in the meantime, a position opened up with a company out of Warren, Pennsylvania, that needed a company person or a company man to handle their water, a water supervisor, just like I was telling you. Well, I know the VP of Drilling Completions with that company. That gentleman was an intern of mine way back in the day when he was first getting into the business, and then I helped him with his career. So I made a phone call to him and told him about this young man that I knew. I said he'd be a perfect fit for you. I know his work ethic. He's got a year experience. And he goes, send over his resume. So we sent over his resume. They interviewed him. They liked him. They hired him. He became a company man after 1 year and 3 months in the business, 21 years of age. That's how quick it can happen. Another story is a young man in my neighborhood, graduated high school with my daughter in 2007. Wasn't very handy, didn't go to Votech school, said, college has got to be the route for me. That's the way I got to go. Okay, that's great. He's going to go to Slippery Rock University and become a physical therapist. So he gets down there. He didn't even last the first semester. He come back, he quit. And I asked him, hey, Sean, what's up? You quit college? He goes, yeah, college isn't for me. I go, oh, okay, that's good. What are your options now? What are your plans now? I don't really know. Maybe working at the corner Quickfill for minimum wage or Best Buy up in Erie. Any jobs in the oil field? I said, yeah, I could get you in. And so I sent him over to a company that hired, just like our company, hires people, people right off the streets. He got in there, they taught him what he needed to know. Within 6 months, he happened to turn 19. They made Sean a supervisor at 19 because he showed up for work when he was supposed to, happened to pass a drug test, clean driving record, had a work ethic. They moved him up to supervisor. He made, Sean at 19 years old, made $60,000 a year. 2 years later, same company, at 21, Sean made $80,000 a year, just a high school diploma on the job training. A year later, Sean's working down in Fayette County near Uniontown, Pennsylvania, south of Pittsburgh. Company man calls him over, hey Sean, we'd like to hire you full time. We like you. You can supervise the same company that you've been working for. Awesome. He gets hooked up with that company, becomes a company man at 22. They pay him $90,000 a year. And at that point in time, his work schedule was 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So basically, he's making $90,000 a year for half a year. Okay. A year later, in 2009, Sean turns 23. Chevron comes into the state of Pennsylvania, and they buy out all of Sean's company's acreage and shale acreage down there. And Sean goes to work for Chevron. At 23 years old, Sean's first year with Chevron, Sean made $100,000. I kid you not. So, right place, right time, work ethic, that's what can happen. The story gets old now because Sean's 30 years old. He's been in the business 12 years. They did ship Sean to Midland, Texas. They needed him down there because of his expertise. When they shipped him down there, they flew him, they paid for all his expenses flying from Pittsburgh all the way down to Midland and back. They paid for all his living arrangements. Well, the end of last year, Sean turned 30 years old. Sean's up to $150,000 a year, and they don't care where Sean lives. Sean decided to move to Bend, Oregon, of all places, because he's single and he can. Snowboarding, he likes snowboarding and hiking and biking, so he can live in Hawaii. They don't care, as long as he gets to work and he puts his 2 weeks in. You see what I'm saying? So, and this is happening right south of Elmira in New York, all over PA, in the northeastern part, right here, just south of where Elmira is, as well as down around the southwestern part of Pittsburgh, in Ohio, West Virginia. And now, let's say you get sick of working for, around here, and you're living around New York or Pennsylvania, and you say, man, I think I want to go to Montana or Colorado. Well, you can. Guess what? They're drilling wells out there. You got the experience now right here in your backyard. You can take that experience and apply for a job out there because they're going to need water managers out there or whatever. And then you can live in Montana, Colorado, New Mexico, California, Louisiana, Texas. The last company I worked for, we had operations on the North Slope of Alaska. We fed all the natural gas, we drilled all the natural gas and operated the wells that supplied Anchorage, Alaska with all their gas. You want to work onshore, offshore Australia? You can do that now because you got the experience. Southeast Asia, Africa, Saudi Arabia, you name it. You know what I mean? You learn the business here, the options are wide open for you, so that's about it. Any questions on anything?